Hey, it's Becky. I wanted to talk to you about why homeschooling is hard. And I have a singular goal out of this video, and that is for you to be brave and to follow the link and to book a call with me. But here's what I know: homeschooling is hard when you focus on what you don't need to focus on. I'm going to say that again. Homeschooling is hard when you focus on what you don't need to focus on. You know that you're listening to the right video if, when you look around your homeschool and you think about the last 30 or 60 days of teaching your kids, you see a whole bunch of busy work. You see a whole bunch of curriculum, a whole bunch of well intended lesson plans, and a lot of to do lists, and a lot of stress, and a lot of bickering and complaining. Even the kids bicker and complain. You see that your relationship today is not as strong as it was 30 or 60 days ago because of the pressure that you're putting yourself under as you are going through your homeschool journey. And I want you to know that when you compare what you are doing today with everything that you're seeing online on Pinterest and groups on Facebook, in Facebook and YouTube, everywhere, Instagram, that the second you compare what you're doing with your family to what somebody else is doing, you have two choices: to either feel better about yourself because you're rocking it, or to feel worse about yourself because you're not doing what they're doing. And again, I'm going to say this a few times through this video: homeschooling is hard when you focus on what you don't need to focus on. So I'm going to encourage you to look at your own family and think about whether or not you are truly living the homeschool life that you have always dreamed about. Now, why do I want to get on a phone call with you? I was just talking with another homeschooler yesterday, and her words were basically like, "Oh my gosh, I needed to hear this so bad because I didn't realize that I was so chained to the things that I've purchased, so chained to the things that I've written in my lesson plan. And I can see now that if I can just change what I focus on, that I'm going to find the heartbeat in my home. I'm going to find the heartbeat with my own kids." And this is revolutionary. It's not as easy to communicate that through email or even commenting on a video. And I'm finding that the more and more I chat with people intentionally over the phone and over Zoom whenever possible, that people need exactly what you and I need. We need real connection with people that actually care about us and our kids. I don't know about you, but before I got on this video, I went to my email inbox and I cleared out a whole bunch of junk, a whole bunch of people selling me things and pitching me things and offering me things. And it's not that they weren't good. Some of them were really good, but I could tell by the emails that they don't see me. I could tell by the emails that they don't see my family. I can tell that they don't understand where I'm at in my life, in my relationships, in my journeys of whatever the email's subject was. And that's why the phone calls are so powerful, because I love to be able to see you and then to breathe encouragement that has been hard earned. I've said 100 times my hair was very dark brown when I started this journey. It might have had a little bit of a red tint because I think I was going through that purple hair season that I had, but it was darker. And over the last 25 years, as we have trained up our boys and made a bunch of mistakes and had them do different types of opportunities and then eventually launch into life, my husband and I, have learned so much about what it takes to not just educate your kids so that they get a diploma or they get a degree, but to give them the skill set and the foundation necessary so that when they step into life, they rock it. They don't just rock it because they're lofty and above everybody else, but because they're equipped with the skills necessary in order to succeed. You know, when you dream about homeschool, I'm guessing we have or had similar visions. We closed our eyes and we thought, man, I want to homeschool my kids because I want to have a stronger family culture. I want to captivate their hearts and make sure that we're able to lean into their hearts and character in a way that matters to us. For us, it meant giving our kids a biblical foundation and making sure that that was the center focus of everything that we did. When we dreamed about homeschool, we thought about read alouds and cozy time on the sofa and making forts in the living room and going on grand adventures. We dreamed about laughing, exploring, and working side by side with our kids, and then watching them develop their delights and their interests in a way that as they got older, we could lean into that and we could coach them and mentor them and help them develop their talents and skills and abilities so that they would be a better version of themselves than if they just went through dead and boring classes. We dreamed about watching our kids graduate from high school and then taking the reins of their life and then going into their future. When we first dreamed about homeschool, we knew that we were having our boys go on a college directed path, but that was because my husband, who is a brilliant self taught person, has bumped into the issues that come with not having a degree when you're sitting in a room of PhDs at places like NASA. Oh, he sat there and the conversations were interesting as the PhDs and all their lofty haughtiness were sharing, well, I got my PhD here, and I got my PhD here, and I got my third PhD here. Mr. Sayler, where did you get your PhD? And he said, Elk Grove High School. And they're like, ha, 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 no, really. And he's a self-taught, brilliant computer person. And so when we thought through our own children, we envisioned this wonderful life of memories and learning and laughter and working side by side together and then launching them successfully into college. And along the way, it was bumpy. We got distracted. I got distracted by curriculum and lesson plans and scopes and sequences and where are all the checklists of all the things that kids need to learn before they leave home. And at the end of the day, if any of that resonates with you, I'm going to encourage you to book the call because we need to chat about it. I need to be able to share with you what I know from this side of the journey. What I know from this side of the journey, that there's no master checklist of everything that your kids need to learn by the time they graduate high school. There isn't. Instead, they need impeccable character, a work ethic that helps them stand above their competition, diligence and discipline so that they're able to attack a task with great vim and great vigor, like Dr. Seuss would say, and to make sure that they have grit so that when life gets hard, because it will, they don't quit, that they know that I may not know this now, but with time and practice and assistance, I'm going to get there. They need that grit. They also need to delight in learning, leaning into how to find out more, to be seekers of curiosity, and to be expert help seekers. And what I can tell you is that as I'm talking to dozens and dozens of homeschoolers, I'm finding that homeschoolers nod their head like, wow, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. But they don't know how to do it because they catch the dream and then they go to their inbox and they think, oh, well, maybe that math curriculum is the ticket. Or they see a workshop and they think maybe that workshop is the ticket. Or they see a coach and they think, well, maybe he's the ticket. And then they see extension opportunities and clubs for the kids and maybe that's the ticket. And they get distracted and they're professional rabbit chasers, which I believe my hypothesis is there's an average statistic that the average American homeschooler spends $600 a year per child to educate them through the mode of homeschooling. I believe that it's because homeschoolers chase all the rabbits, that we get what it is that we want to teach our kids. And then when it gets tricky or we don't understand it or it doesn't hit the kids in the heart, we think the curriculum's the issue. So then we go get something else and then something else. I think a lot of homeschoolers spend more than $600 a year per child on their kids, or at least that much over the course of 10 or 15 years, which turns into thousands of dollars of curriculum that is well intended, packaged beautifully and sparkly, but does not hit your kid's heart or your home in a way that creates a catapult towards your child's success. Again, homeschooling is hard when you focus on what you don't need to focus on, when you focus on the lists of vocabulary that kids need to learn, how to teach a 5-paragraph essay, what are the order of events in history starting from creation to today, all of the different scientific things that you could fall into a lifetime of learning about as checklists of things to check off. These 47 books that need to be read, analyzed, and then written about. All of these math concepts from arithmetic to algebra 2, algebra 3, calculus, and geometry. Once you start focusing on those things, you take your eyes off your child and you stop kindling the fire of delight, kindling the fire of joy. And that is where homeschoolers fall flat on their face. That is where we have the skills, I have the skills to be able to look at you and to see into your homeschool and to be able to see with that gray-haired perspective what it is that you're focusing on, and then to help transfer your vision to where it needs to be. And the magic of these phone calls is whether or not you choose to be a part of our coaching programs or our masterminds or our personal intensive coaching, whether or not you choose to become a client and be personally mentored, 100% of the time, yep, 100% of the time, all the calls that I've had in the past, wherever the homeschoolers come in, they leave encouraged. They leave with a nugget of something that they can immediately apply into their homeschool that makes this kind of an impact. This one gal comes to mind, and we were sharing that she was sharing that what she was doing in homeschool felt like she was chasing the rabbits, that she was just constantly on this frantic search for the curriculum that was going to make a difference, that was going to capture her son's heart. And we had a conversation, and then she circled back the next day. She didn't immediately jump in, but she didn't buy into coaching. She didn't buy into the community. She didn't do that. Instead, she applied what we talked about. And then my message blew up, where she shared about how excited she was. They had gone on an adventure, and she shared all the things that they delighted in together. And then the piece de resistance, the cherry on top for me, was she shared pictures of her son with the biggest grin on his face, and ended her message with big old words, "Thank you." Oh, she's since hopped in, but I have to tell you that I see this over and over and over again, because what I'm sharing is time tested. It works for absolutely every student. It's the magic of, if you watch any of the movies where you have a teacher that comes into a failing system, and then they can't do the curriculum because the kids are just rejecting it, and then they put on their creativity hat, and then they grip the hearts of their kids, and then their kids go on to do these amazing things. It's like that. I have that kind of experience behind me, where I've walked with my own children and walked with other people with their children in a way that we can push curriculum just to the side. You don't have to burn it, so you don't have to waste your money, but you can push it to the side and focus on your child. And I can help you do that. And then design a path, design a way that you can find the joy that you're desperately looking for. Because curriculum should not run the show. Your lesson planner should not chain you to your kitchen table. You should not feel like that to-do list is how you judge your self-worth as a homeschooler, as a mom, as a dad, as a parent. It has nothing to do with your success. And if you don't feel that your relationships are better off today with your spouse and your children and your community, then you need to make a change today. Because most of the homeschoolers in my little corner of the universe are either just starting out or in the smack dab middle of what I call the flourishing and fun stage. But they're not flourishing and they're not having fun. And the challenge here between the ages of birth and 14, if you concentrate on the wrong things, not only is it hard, but you lose the hearts of your kids. Now, a lot of kids can weather that storm. They can, but some don't. And It's devastating to the family culture. It's devastating to your relationships. Bekki, how do you know? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because we learned these lessons that we share. I learned these lessons that I share the hard way by putting my feet on the pavement. And when we homeschooled our 5 kids, that meant our first son was the guinea pig. And what we did during that season was crush him with curriculum and lesson plans for the good of his education. And it caused division, it caused separation, it caused all kinds of drama for our family that could have been avoided if I had somebody like me that could look me in the eye and say, okay, I see your heart. I see that he has big goals and you want to help him. But if you don't capture his heart first, you're going to lose him along the way. And so I needed me to be there for me back when our oldest son was 10, 11, 12. And I certainly would have wanted her to walk with me arm in arm through the rest of our homeschool. We would have gotten to the joy part of homeschooling much sooner. So, again, the goal of this call is not to sell you a thing, but to encourage you to get on the phone with me. My calendar fills up pretty quickly once people see the vision for what's possible in their homeschool. So I'm going to encourage you to not overthink it. I'm going to encourage you to go to my calendar and find a time that works for you and be brave. And then know that I'm exactly the same person on the phone that I am anytime that you see me online. Sometimes I have makeup on, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have my hair done, sometimes I don't. Just depends on the day. But the me, the Bekki, same person. And this is what makes my heart beat faster. I love my Lord, I love my husband, I love my children. My work outside of that is to reach through the screen and to grab hands with homeschoolers and to show them that there is truly a better way to lean into this journey of homeschool that not only educates their child and equips them for life, but fulfills the part of the dreamy vision that you have going on in your head. It's truly possible to live the homeschool life that you've always wanted to live, but it takes some fine tuning of your mindset. It takes seeing what's possible. It takes discipline to push away the trolls and the whispers and the things in your inbox so that you can focus on what you have right under your roof. And I would love to be that for you. I would love to breathe encouragement over you. I would love to show you what's possible. And I would love to invite you to join me on a call. So follow the link. You'll get a glimpse of my calendar. Pick a time that works for you. And if you have ever spent time with me on the phone, if you could share that wherever you're watching this video down below to encourage people to get on the phone, that it truly is fun. It truly is helpful, and it may be a nugget of what you learned from one of your calls. So I can't wait to see your name pop up in my calendar, and I can't wait to talk with you soon.